Charting the rise of a young Donald Trump, The Apprentice was one of the most critically hyped movies of the year, but it's unlikely you'll see this film on any streaming platform anytime soon. Featuring awards-worthy performances from Marvel's Sebastian Stan and Succession's Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice opened to positive reviews and an 11-minute standing ovation at Cannes Film Festival, inspiring a wave of Oscar speculation when it premiered. A movie with this kind of reception would typically get scooped up after Cannes Film Festival. As The Apprentice's director Ali Abbasi recalled of the premiere, "When we were at Cannes and we got a standing ovation and everyone was so happy and flattering, I was thinking there was going to be a bidding war. Do I want to go with Warner or Netflix? Who do I want to pick?" However, within hours of the movie's debut, The Apprentice's hopes of success were destroyed, and distributors refused to touch the movie. Despite a rapturous reception at Cannes and immediate Oscar buzz, every major US distributor and streamer, from Netflix to Amazon, passed on picking up on The Apprentice, an unprecedented outcome for a film with such acclaim. Instead, The Apprentice would end up crashing and burning at the box office, with the filmmakers resorting to a Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign just to keep the movie in US theatres. As director Abbasi said, "With the stars we have and the reception we got in Cannes, it's unheard of the way the industry has treated this film." But the sorry fate of The Apprentice was all down to the inclusion of a controversial 40-second scene, a scene so controversial that it drew audible gasps from a shocked Cannes audience. We look at how a 40-second scene killed a movie that had so much promise, and is the reason why you won't see The Apprentice streaming on Netflix anytime soon. In The Apprentice, Sebastian Stan stars as a young Donald Trump with Oscar-nominated Borat 2 actress Maria Bakalova as Trump's first wife, Ivana. The movie is an origin story that chronicles Trump's ascendancy to power through his mentor-protege relationship with notorious legal fixer Roy Cohn, played by Jeremy Strong. The Apprentice features several shocking scenes. As Trump builds his empire, we see him take amphetamine pills to lose weight, experience erectile dysfunction, undergo liposuction, and receive scalp reduction treatment for baldness. But the most shocking and pivotal scene in The Apprentice would be one in which Trump would R-word his wife, Ivana. In the brutal scene, Trump reacts with fury when Ivana mocks his physical appearance. Trump is then shown forcing Ivana to the floor and R-wording her. The scene is a fictionalized account based on an allegedly real 1989 incident that was first revealed in Harry Hurt's 1993 unauthorized biography of Donald Trump. In 1990, Trump and Ivana began divorce proceedings, and Hurt obtained a copy of Ivana's sworn divorce deposition. In a sworn testimony in court, Ivana stated that her husband had R-worded her in a fit of rage the year before. In her testimony, Ivana said that she had recommended a plastic surgeon to Trump for a scalp reduction operation to help with his bald spot. However, the operation had been unexpectedly painful, and Trump was furious with Ivana. In retaliation, Trump allegedly yanked out a handful of Ivana's hair and then R-worded her. Trump denied the allegation as obviously false, and Ivana later also walked back on the claim. In a 1993 statement, Ivana confirmed that she had said that her ex-husband had R-worded her in a divorce deposition, but added that she did not want those words to be interpreted in a literal or criminal sense. In 2015, when the allegations surfaced again during Trump's first run for president, Ivana refuted the claims once more, saying that the story is totally without merit. Donald and I are the best of friends. Hurt believes that Ivana agreed to retract her words to secure a divorce settlement from Trump, in which she purportedly received $40 million in cash. However, it's also worth mentioning that Trump and Ivana remained firm friends until her death in 2022, with the pair even starring in a Pizza Hut ad together right after their divorce.
I really think this is the right thing for us to be doing, Ivana.
What will people think?
Let them talk.
Donald.
Ivana.
In any case, the filmmakers behind The Apprentice knew that the R-word scene was a controversial one. According to some sources, the filmmakers toned down this scene in the movie's search for financial backing, while other sources claim the scene existed in every version of The Apprentice's screenplay during development, and was signed off upon by all the movie's stakeholders. Regardless, the filmmakers never once considered dropping the R-word scene, believing it to be pivotal to the movie and a moment based on real historical record, and therefore without legal repercussions. Ahead of its splashy premiere at Cannes Film Festival in May 2024, virtually no one had seen The Apprentice, as the movie was reportedly finished only days before its premiere. While The Apprentice received critical acclaim at the festival, this particular scene stunned the Cannes audience and immediately ignited controversy. And one of The Apprentice's investors was billionaire and former Washington Commanders owner Dan Schneider, a close friend of Trump who had previously donated over $1 million to his presidential committee and 2020 re-election campaign. Schneider put money into The Apprentice via his son-in-law's film company, Kinematics. Throughout production on The Apprentice, Schneider remained largely oblivious to what was being filmed and believed the movie would be a positive portrayal of Trump. And so, in early 2024, an excited Schneider hosted a screening of The Apprentice's rough cut at his Caribbean vacation home. When he watched the film, Schneider was furious at what he saw and reportedly walked out of the screening. Among the many unflattering Trump scenes in The Apprentice, the moment that enraged Schneider the most was the movie's R-word scene. Schneider reportedly demanded the scene be cut before release. But when the filmmakers refused to do so, lawyers for the Kinematics production company, supposedly at the behest of the billionaire, sought to oppose the release of the movie and began sending cease and desist letters to the crew. Things would only get worse after the filmmakers dared to premiere The Apprentice with that 40-second scene uncut at Cannes. And within mere hours of the premiere, The Apprentice was in peril. In a piece for Vanity Fair, Gabriel Sherman, who wrote the screenplay of The Apprentice, says he was at the after-party of the premiere at Cannes when he began getting alerts on his phone. Trump, upon learning about the scene in The Apprentice, was planning to block the movie's release and sue. Trump's campaign spokesman, Stephen Chong, immediately put out a statement saying, "We'll be filing a lawsuit to address the blatantly false assertions from these pretend filmmakers. This garbage is pure fiction which sensationalizes lies that have long been debunked. This film is pure malicious defamation, should not see the light of day, and doesn't even deserve a place in the straight-to-DVD section of a bargain bin at a soon-to-be-closed discount movie store. It belongs in a dumpster fire." 2 days later, Sherman says that Trump's lawyers sent him and the film's director, Bassi, cease and desist letters. According to Sherman, the document said that filmmakers should immediately stop distribution and marketing of The Apprentice in the US, and warned Hollywood companies against picking up the movie. Going into Cannes, The Apprentice had distribution pre-sold in a number of countries, but was still seeking a North American deal. Yet the filmmakers recalled how the movie had huge interest among every US distributor and streaming service prior to the premiere. But Trump's threats had their intended effect. Within a few hours, concerns over the likelihood of Trump's legal challenges tied to the scene caused every major American distributor and streaming service to run scared of The Apprentice. As negotiations began after the Cannes premiere, Sony Pictures Classics suddenly said the film wasn't for them. While other potential distributors admitted to feeling worried about buying a lawsuit, no one would dare touch The Apprentice now. In his piece for Vanity Fair, Sherman recalled, "I hope the controversy with Trump would translate into a deal. Studios and streamers normally compete fiercely to acquire the buzziest titles at Cannes. 2 days after our premiere, Netflix reportedly paid approximately $12 million to acquire Emilia Perez, but the spectre of Trump's lawsuit had a chilling effect on would-be buyers. By the time I flew home a week later, no Hollywood company had made an offer to release the movie in the United States." And with the filmmakers refusing to cut the R-word scene, Trump's billionaire friend Dan Schneider and Kinematics declined to release The Apprentice and attempted to sell their stake in the movie, a process that would take months. The Apprentice would eventually find a buyer willing to take the risk in Briarcliff Entertainment, a small company known for making political films like Spotlight and Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 11/9. But by the time the deal had gone through, Briarcliff only had 5 weeks left to market the film. This limited window was further complicated by US television networks now terrified by the legal threats over the R-word scene, refusing to air ads for The Apprentice during political TV spots at the 2024 presidential campaign debates. In the end, The Apprentice only reached theatres after the filmmakers resorted to launching a Kickstarter campaign to get the movie in front of audiences. The Kickstarter campaign reached its $100,000 fundraising goal in less than 12 hours and eventually pulled a little over $407,000. The filmmakers kept aside some of those Kickstarter funds to fight off potential lawsuits from Trump. But even so, the film made just $1.6 million in theatres during its opening weekend, making it effectively a flop, particularly for a film with awards aspirations. On its opening weekend, Trump posted on Truth Social that he hoped The Apprentice would bomb, describing the movie as a cheap, defamatory and politically disgusting hatchet job and refuting the controversial scene. "My former wife Ivana was a kind and wonderful person, and I had a great relationship with her until the day she died," Trump wrote. A 40-second scene was all it took to kill The Apprentice movie. The question is, why couldn't the filmmakers have just dropped the scene and given the movie a fighting chance? According to the filmmakers, there was no way they could have done that in good conscience. The Apprentice's screenwriter Gabriel Sherman said he would have stopped at nothing to keep that scene in the film, given the history of allegations of sexual misconduct against Trump, all of which he has denied. "I couldn't stand behind a movie that didn't explore Trump's misogyny," Sherman said. "I needed the film to engage with that, and this scene is the most powerful and visceral way."